Hola, minasan! Welcome back for another round of research and reaction. Today we're gonna jumping back over to SCP Explain Story and Animation. Today it is SCP-035, the Possessive Mask. We're gonna see what makes this mask possessive. Is it hoarding up the gold? Is it gathering up all kinds of materials? Or is it a ghost? Or maybe it's just wants a girlfriend and wants to stick its face onto somebody. Or maybe it's just like Konosuba. Who knows? We're gonna find out tonight. So, without further ado, let's slap on the headphones and get reacting.
The SCP Foundation does their best to live up to their famous namesake.
Mm-hmm.
They secure and contain anomalies and monsters from all around the world, or sometimes even off-world, and protect the public from the dangers that these strange entities
aliens?
might pose. However, despite their efforts to maintain security and keep their subjects under lock and key, there are sometimes creatures so clever, so devious, and so determined to escape their captivity and wreak havoc on the world that even the SCP Foundation struggles to keep them from getting free.
That makes sense.
One example is
sense.
SCP-035,
What does this do?
or the Possessive Mask. SCP-035 is one of the most dangerous test subjects in SCP Foundation custody, and its mere presence at the Foundation has
It's a JoJo mask. We're gonna be posing. JoJo mask. It's a JoJo mask. It's gonna stick to our faces, and we're gonna be doing JoJo poses. We'll be like, whoa, Wamu.
resulted in untold damage, death, and destruction.
Dang,
It seems
my man's
innocent
freaked out.
enough to the untrained eye. The mask, which resembles a classic white porcelain comedy mask, though it occasionally changes its expression to tragedy, has been in existence since at least the 1800s. In the late 19th century, the Foundation discovered the mask in a sealed crypt beneath an abandoned home in Venice. It is unknown how it got there, or how the Foundation knew to look for it. If there was ever an explanation for its discovery, it has long since been removed or redacted from the Foundation's archives. You're probably wondering, how can a simple mask leave multiple seasoned Foundation employees dead? Well, like everything at the SCP Foundation, this mask is not what it seems. There is a reason its classification is Keter, a designation that refers to an entity that's excessively difficult to contain. And it couples this difficulty with a pronounced hostility towards human life.
Oh, snap.
And the ability to cause widespread destruction in the event of a containment breach. These are the qualities that the poor unfortunate souls assigned to guard SCP-035 would come to understand all too well. The Possessive Mask is a...
So wait a second. Is this mask like murderous? Like it'll stick up to your face, makes you kill a person, then it detaches itself, and while it runs away and escapes from SCP, the person it possessed will be the one that ends up going to prison for life because the SCP's got to keep the possessive mask under wraps and hidden from the public. So there's no evidence, no way to prove it. You'll just be seen as either a crazed lunatic or mass murdering maniac, and you're the one that goes to prison, even though it was against your own will. Oh, snap. I mean, that's the potential of what it can do. That's insane. Yo. And SCP can't even contain this. The Keter class? That means it's difficult to contain? Oh, they need... Why aren't they destroying it?
parasitic entity, constantly seeking out a host willing to put it on. Any human being in the mask's proximity experiences a sudden, unexplainable urge to put it on, and once they do, there's no going back. SCP Foundation research has determined that once a host has put on the mask, their brain waves are replaced with an alternative pattern, this one coming from the mask, rendering the host effectively brain dead.
And they end up having Jim Carreyism.
The mask takes over, piloting their body and even speaking through them. However, the mask can only occupy a host for a small amount of time before the body begins to decay and decompose, eventually rotting away completely, leaving nothing but desiccated flesh and bones. SCP-035 is capable of possessing any humanoid being.
Yo, that's even worse. So in other words, if it wants to go on a murdering rampage, it'll kill whatever it wants, then kill the host. Whoa. Honestly, I think that's merciful. Actually, that's very merciful. of the mask. It's like I'll just kill you up so you don't have to suffer at the hands of society. That's actually a mercy move, quite honestly. I'd rather not knowing what the mask made me do and die off than be broken free from the mask, have no memory of what it made me do, and find myself in prison or loony bin because it killed off a whole bunch of people.
Whether that's an actual human being or a lifeless humanoid shape. Despite all their research,
now if it make me like Jim Carrey and lets me go around dancing,
all the tools and resources it needed to break containment and leave a trail of bodies in its wake.
Damn.
For a time, the mask was given host privileges, meaning that it was purposely allowed to occupy a host in order to speak with the scientists studying it. In order to avoid murky ethical issues, the host was usually something inanimate like a mannequin or a statue. These conditions, however unsettling, allowed the researchers to carry out interviews with the consciousness housed inside the mask.
Oh my
to
God.
Understand it and its motivations.
It can even possess
However,
mannequins?
SCP-035 lost all access to its host privileges after it almost pulled off an unprecedented, shocking, and nearly catastrophic escape attempt.
Oh, damn.
In its early days at the facility, when it was still allowed host privileges, it was contained in a triple-locked room and monitored by several research personnel. These were experienced researchers who had been with the Foundation for a minimum of 5 years each, an unusually long tenure in such a dangerous and mentally corrosive line of work. These research staff members were thought to be the most capable of handling interactions with the mask and be able to resist its attempts at manipulation.
Okay.
Unfortunately, these assumptions were naive and seriously underestimated the mask's power. Research on the mask indicates that the mask is incredibly intelligent and a skilled manipulator. It has a photographic memory, intelligence that would rank it in the 99th percentile of humans, and the ability to incite dramatic changes in the behavior and people that it talks to. One particularly infamous interview between the entity and an unnamed doctor at the Foundation suggested that the mask may even possess telepathic abilities. The mask was able to give details about the doctor's life that no one else was privy to.
Oh, that's scary.
Including knowledge of an affair that his wife was having.
Oh!
Following the interview, the doctor suffered a psychotic break and committed suicide just 24 hours later. The mask is
Yo, my man extorted him. Yo, it's just a mask, and he extorted a scientist into. Oh snap, man! Made him commit suicide, right into suicide. That's insane. Yo, this mask is beyond. Wow.
Use its superior intelligence, charismatic personality, and mind-reading abilities to get inside the heads of those it speaks with. It will pull out any and all psychological stops to get what it wants, leaving broken minds and spirits in its wake. It was really only a matter of time before it used this skill set to its advantage and attempted to escape its confinement.
Well,
the day of the escape,
if you want to stop it, get rid of its advantage, how about taking it off the mannequin?
Intelligent, experienced men checked into the facility, measured the conditions of the mask's containment unit, and began the process of interviewing the mask like normal. Its motions were slow and looked to require great effort, as its current host was beginning to degrade beyond use. The mask was attached to the blank face of a mannequin, and corrosive black liquid could be seen oozing from its eye and mouth. This liquid is excreted by the mask at a near constant rate, and it's thought to be at least partially responsible for the accelerated decay of the host bodies. In spite of the entity's unsettling, nightmarish appearance, it was just another day's work for the men assigned to monitor SCP-035. And so they carried on with their daily routine. Everything was going according to plan until one of the men, Dr. Jones, began to behave erratically. He demanded that his fellow scientists leave him alone with the mask for a while, and allow him to engage in a private conversation with it. It is unknown what exactly the two spoke about while the other two scientists were absent, as the security footage captured had no sound. However, several minutes into the conversation in the footage, Dr. Jones can be seen dissolving into a fit of tears, laying on the ground and shaking with sobs.
Jeez Louise, man. Why did they even allow that? That's so dumb. And not only that, but the choice of security is dumb. Why, first of all, why isn't he in a cube? In a cube with the mask, you know, saying like they could do the take the mannequin head, put it in the cube, stick the mask in there, but keep it in the cube. You know what I mean? Keep it in the cube. Why do they have it walking around freely and everything? Just keep it in the cube in a room, triple lockdown. You know, this is such a gross miscalculation on SCP's part. They know it can't be underestimated.
Watches. He then climbs onto his knees, begging the mask for something, before he embraces it. He holds the mannequin in his arms for 5 straight minutes, weeping again, before they separate. After this disturbing emotional display, Dr. Jones brought the other scientists back into the room with him.
Cthulhu.
What happened next is still uncertain, but there are a few things that we know for sure. The other scientists began to speak with the mask. In later interviews, the other scientists were bordering on incoherent babbling about various traumas from their lives. One repeatedly referred to a drunk driving accident where a dear friend was killed.
Oh, dang.
He was at fault. Another simply cried out for his mother again and again. Whatever the mask said to them, it was enough to completely destroy their mental health.
Yeah.
After the 2 scientists had been emotionally devastated by the mask, Dr. Jones escalated the situation further.
Yeah, he got Cthulhu.
Dr. Jones removed the mask from the decaying mannequin body, and shocking everyone who had later reviewed the security footage, placed it onto his
And
own
it's got
face.
black goo on it.
Once the mask was in place, the security footage ends.
Oh.
At the command of the mask, which was now speaking through Dr. Jones, the other 2 men switched off all security camera monitoring SCP-035's containment facility. The mask, piloting the body of Dr. Jones like a horrible
Piloting?
made its way through the facility, avoiding detection until it reached the exit doors.
He just walked by a whole bunch of security guards, and not a single one of them questioned the mask. Oh, look, there's the doctor with the mask again. No, that's fine. Typical day. Have a good day, sir. Have a good day. Oh my gosh, man. SCP, come on. You could do better than this.
Where it was finally stopped by a team of over a dozen security guards.
Okay.
Knowing the dangers of touching the mask, all Foundation employees involved in the recontainment of SCP-035 refused to remove it from Dr. Jones' face. Instead, he was placed in the lock room with the mask still on, left alone to be observed over the security cameras until his body had decomposed beyond use. His body paced back and forth in the cell for days, flesh
that
rotting
bone?
and dropping away only
His bone
until
is
sinew and
exposed.
bone remained. Only when the bones began to turn black and brittle, crumbling apart into dust, did the body finally stop moving.
Wow.
His family was notified. The mask was carefully removed from what was left of his body, and his remains were destroyed. The other 2 scientists involved in the SCP-035 escape attempt were terminated, and their files destroyed. After this incident, a few more failed escape
And by
attempts.
terminated, you mean executed for the stupidity they contributed to, right? Not just fired.
And the acknowledgement of the devastation that could have been caused if the mask had made its way out into the general population. SCP-035 lost its host privileges altogether. Several research staff protested this decision, insisting that there was more to be learned from speaking with the entity,
Nah.
and citing valuable information that it had given about other
Nah,
SCPs.
I wouldn't.
However, the risk was determined to considerably outweigh the potential reward, and the request to reinstate 035's host privileges were denied.
Good.
Several staff members went so far as to erupt into violent outbursts on 035's behalf, attacking their supervisors who refused to provide the mask with a new host, clawing at them with animalistic rage. Any staff members that submitted a request to reinstate said privileges were considered a security threat and reassigned to a different SCP, or in some cases, terminated.
By
Any staff
terminated, you
member who had
executed them,
direct
right?
Contact with SCP-035 was also terminated, in order to avoid the risk of any more staff-aided escape attempts. The mask is now kept in a hermetically sealed glass case.
There we
There is
go.
a psychologist on call to provide assistance to anyone guarding it, in case of adverse effects on their mental health from the mask's presence.
It's about time.
Personnel that work around the mask, even in its current dormant state, experience frequent violent outbursts and a higher rate of suicide. Even without a host, the mask's corrosive effects have spread across its containment facility. The walls of the room have begun to secrete the same black liquid
Wow.
from the mask, which tests have revealed to be highly contaminated human blood that damages the structural integrity of the walls following prolonged contact. This blood has begun to form patterns on the walls, spelling out words and phrases in Italian, Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit, as well as depicting drawings of ritual sacrifice and mutilation. Staff members also report hearing unintelligible whispering and horrifying high-pitched laughter when in proximity to the mask. Further exposure to the mask results in migraines, hemorrhaging around the eyes, and nose, and an eventual psychosis.
This mask is trying every which way it can to communicate so it could get slapped on a face. It is working hard 24/7 to get what it wants. That is insane. They need to find some way to actually block that that energy that it's emitting.
Brain. Between the corrosive substance appearing on the walls and the physical and psychological damage to employees, SCP-035 is becoming increasingly difficult to contain, and there are debates among staff as to whether the entity can, in fact, be contained at all. As soon as possible, SCP-035 will be moved into a new containment facility, and its previous cell will be isolated from the rest of the Foundation's property and destroyed for the safety of all involved. We can only hope that the new containment procedures are more effective than the last ones, and that this mask never makes its way into the world again. If it does, who knows how many lives it will claim. In the meantime, if you ever come across a strange mask and feel a nearly uncontrollable urge to put it on, ignore the whispered pleas to just try it. Ignore the echoing laughter and the sensation of something older and more powerful than you can imagine rummaging through your deepest, darkest secret thoughts. Turn around and run as fast as you can in the other direction. You'll be glad that you did.
Wow. Wow, this was good. This was good. Yeah, this was a good one. I like this. The possessive mask. It really shows. It really shows that the SCP. It's not so much that they don't have it in order. No, it just shows that they're not infallible. You know, like they can't answer everything. Why it took them so long to put the thing in how you say a containment unit, you know what I'm saying, like in a box, you know what I'm saying, a glass container, is beyond me. They just let that thing go a little too wild, and then it started Cthulhuing the crap out of a couple of the scientists. Like they were determined to support him. There was a borderline cult going on there. But at least the higher ups had the presence of mind to not let that happen. Not let that happen whatsoever, for the sake of humanity. But I would have had not slapped it on a mannequin like this, on a mannequin whatsoever. Where's the mannequin at? Yeah, see, I would not have slapped it on that mannequin in any way, shape, or form. This was a very foolish move on their part. I would have put it on a mannequin head. You know what I'm saying? Like I would have taken the head mannequin, then put it on a mantle, slap the mask, then put it in a glass container. At the very least, just to start. You know what I'm saying? Since they were in the early stages, I would have done that as the early stages. And then as time went on and everything figured out, you know what I mean? Then you know, you start improvising on it. Secondly, I would not have put it in a more generalized location. The second it started killing people, started making the scientists go mad, that should have gone 5 floors into like the fifth basement or the 10th basement. You know, 10 floors down under the ground in a dark room with a very long hallway, one way in, one way out. You know what I'm saying? With tons of security cameras. Because all of a sudden it started getting the scientists to turn off the security cameras, which is pretty insane. Look at this, man. That is what a horrifying concept. It started oozing out blood. Yeah, it just started making these scientists go nuts. This is a Keter class, so they can't even contain it. And it's been around since the 1800s, so it's pretty interesting. We don't that they don't even know where it came from, how it all began, but the fact that it also contains, let's see here, is it here? That its intelligence, never mind photographic memory or any of that, but that its intelligence is on par with the 99th percentile of intelligent humans. Yeah, you can't have. That's a mastermind. It's a mastermind. So it has Cthulhu. It causes Cthulhu-like behavior among the people, treated like a cult, a god kind of thing, to make it free itself and whatnot. With the high intelligence of a Stephen Hawking's. That is definitely not something you just leave around. That you just leave around. in a more generalized area of SCP. You want to put that at the bottom. Keep that at the bottom. Keep that away from everybody, as far away from everybody as possible. It's pretty nuts, how that is. And that's all they could do. That's all they could do. They just have no solution to this. All they could do is just contain it. Well, contain it further, like triple contain it. So, man, very impressive. Very impressive writing, storytelling. Very creative, very inventive. Mask mirrors that of the comedy and tragedy masks. It does make people do Jim Carrey and dance around, but it can also make people Jack the Ripper and kill around. So, then I'm glad that I like that this was a little bit more contained story wise. They didn't link it up with any of the other SCPs, and I'm glad for that. This one didn't need to link up or rely on continuity. This helped expand SCP. This actually focused more on SCP's weakness, where their scientists can be so easily manipulated and such, and that's very difficult. That the real threat, what the real threat is, not even so much the SCP things, the mysterious things. It's the people, because because they thought that they had a good sense of contingency by making sure that they used the most intelligent of the scientists, because they thought they would have a very strong mind to be able to handle that thing, only to find out that they could devolve into cultist-like behavior and will defend an SCP like this mask. And that's actually the more greater security risk, the bigger threat over something like the Possessive mask, and that is not the mask itself, but the people that get surrounded, that surrounds the SCP. That takes a lot of trust and requires a lot of background checks. There we go. You got to have a good, thorough background check, because it shows that SCP that has that kind of weakness with amongst their ranks, that their scientists can fall so easily, so what a cool SCP this was. I like this. I like it a lot. That was pretty fun. So be sure to comment, like, subscribe, follow. You want to, and head on over to barnesandnoble.com or amazon.com and grab yourself a copy of The Impossible Man, a strange fantasy novel written by me. You'll find the links to the book down below in the description, along with links to other merch like pins, stickers, t-shirts, music. And please enjoy. And if you're interested, you can join me over on my live multi-streams on Twitch and Kick. Every Monday through Thursday, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, yeah. Until the next research and reaction. Thank you all for joining me. I had a fun time. I hope you all did too. And I wish you all a good night, a buenas noches, and oyasuminasai.